This is one of my favourite exercises for hip strengthening. It's called the clock, and I learnt it from Gary Ward of Anatomy in Motion. The great thing about this exercise is the standing leg gets to work on strengthening and stability, whilst the moving leg gets to work on mobility. Now, as a clock would suggest, we're going to move around the clock. So we're going to stand with one leg on the floor, rooted down into the ground, and then the other leg, we can either, if it's easier for you, just slide along the floor into a 12 o'clock position, 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 8, 7, 6, or we can go for a curtsy, 5. Or if you want something a little bit more progressed, you can do this without sliding, so we're totally dependent on this standing leg to hold all the way. You can even start to mix up the variations of where you're going, so we keep it a little bit more random. So you could go for 11 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock. So that can just really test your cognitive abilities as well as your motor control. And of course, try it on both legs. Balance and coordination exercises are really important to get into our training to help with fall prevention. Now, these can be really simple, just to bring in the neural pathways so that the brain, when we go for a trip, knows how to reflexively respond to help us to keep ourselves upright. Now, these can be done as short and sharp movements, or they can be done by sustained movements to help with the balance aspect. A great way to train coordination is to train opposite limbs, because that's how we walk and keep our balance in normal life. When we go to fall, it's usually that we're falling to one side and we haven't balanced out the other side. So actually training opposite arm and leg in the sagittal plane, which is front and back, but also in side to side plane. Sometimes we stumble over to the side, so we want to be able to bring ourselves back to centre by using the other limb. So we can do these just short and sharp, like so. Or we can do them by sustained holds to get used to balancing and improving our balance. That's coordination exercises for fall prevention. A great way to train balance is to take your body's mass off of centre. So we can do that just by standing on one leg at its most simplest form. Or we can actually start moving our centre of mass around that one leg. So we can come here and start throwing off the mass and seeing how our body responds to it. We can do that with really big movements, or we can do that by just simply taking it a little bit off at first and progressing up to bigger movements as we get more confident. Can your body respond to the ever-changing centre of mass?